First gentleman of the state of Michigan, Dan Mulhern, who has a radio show from 7 till 9 on Saturday mornings, is on the other end of our line. Good morning to you.
Morning, Michael Patrick.
I wanted to mention the news that I got yesterday that Durwood Boyd, the husband of Liz Boyd, passed away this week. I never met him, but I'm told he was an absolutely charming fella and a Republican, if you can believe that, with Liz Boyd serving as the spokesperson for Governor Granholm. Can you tell us a little bit about Durwood?
Oh, you would have loved Durwood, Michael Patrick, because he was just a charming, and he had a really dry, clever wit about him. And of course, Liz Boyd, worked for Candace Miller, so she is not an intense partisan, but she was pretty clearly a Democrat, and they had a lot of fun together, canceling out each other's votes. He was really just a wonderful person, and they were a very devoted couple, so our hearts are really going out to Liz Boyd, who's just a wonderful person. So
the funeral is scheduled for 1 o'clock Friday at Plymouth Congregational Church. That's Oakland and Fairview in Lansing, preceded by a noon viewing. Visitation is at the Estes Ledley Greater Lansing Chapel, 6 to 9 today. Mass scheduled for 3:30 this afternoon at St. Mary's Cathedral, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Liz and her family. How is she doing?
She's doing okay. She's got a great Irish family that surrounded her, and she married a fellow who was 30 or so years older than her. So you kind of expect that in some way. And Durwood, of course, was 88 years old. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, it was really, really tough. But they had a nice going away. He was sharp to the end, and she was able to thank him, and vice versa. And he had his witty look about him and wasn't in pain. So anyway,
right.
Good story. And thanks so much for asking, because I'm sure Liz would appreciate it.
Not at all. We'll see her tomorrow, in fact. What will we hear about this weekend on your program? We're really focusing on leadership a lot these days, as we're 5 days from the primary, and that's what your program is all about, making work, everyday leadership.
Well, every once in a while there's a show that I think this one is going to be really, really good, that I'm totally excited about myself. It'd be like you going to the Masters or something. But we're talking about gender, and especially about young men coming into the workplace. There's been a lot written about women and the shift that women are now getting more college degrees and master's degrees than men, but not much about men. But there are some really interesting people who've written about it. There's an article in the Atlantic Monthly by Hannah Rosen called The End of Men, where, she kind of argues that men are becoming irrelevant at work and even at home. It's obviously very provocative. So she'll join us. And then a fellow named Michael Kimmel, who's written a scary book, Michael, that you need to read because you've got a son who's about to enter into this stage of life. It's called Guyland, and it's really about how adolescence has gotten way, way extended for boys, and that they live kind of a dangerous time between 16 and 26. So I don't know if Amanda was there. I was going to ask her. I've been asking people, is it really true that young men are not as focused as women?
Her brother, her brother comes to mind.
Well, you know what? My brother actually has been very focused lately. I'm really proud of him. Yeah, he's got a really good job, and actually last week he put in 53 hours working in the week. I'm not kidding.
Oh my God, 53.
You know what? It was really a big change. I've seen a big shift in him growing up. He's 22, so I watched him extend past high school a little bit, but it's nice to see him growing and succeeding and kind of becoming an adult.
Now, you, on the other hand, Amanda, have been totally focused, right?
I have had a job since I was 14.
Yeah, can you imagine being her younger brother? Oh, my God. It would be horrific. Like, how could you ever live up to that? Go-getter. It can't be easy for poor Bronson to be in the shadow of Amanda, right? It's not easy at all. So, Mr. First Gentleman, you mentioned exciting show this weekend for you and exciting going to the Masters for me. I got to sit in the same pew with George and Barbara Bush this weekend in Kenny Bunkport. That was a really, really big thrill, too, to be that close to a former president.
You must have crossed over.
That's what everybody keeps saying. Yeah, he's Episcopalian. But, no, I I get called out on that all the time. Hey, I went for one Protestant service. It was nice. It was just as long as a Catholic Mass, so I didn't lose anything. He's First Gentleman Dan Mulhern. I'm Michael Patrick Shields. We're back in a flash.